student to privatized school bus service for the Princeton City School District beginning with the 2014-15 school year.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. I'd like to take this opportunity to share with the public the process that we've gone through around this issue. The school board has conducted a very thorough investigation of the transportation district system. We've looked at routing and ridership administration. We looked at costs, replacements, salaries, benefit packages. We have been studying this process since July of 2013 with a committee that was appointed in October to begin a very defined process. We used industry and business protocols to determine the efficiency and the effectiveness of the established standards. The Transportation Committee consisted of central office staff, union representatives, and independent representatives and audit people to look at everything that was involved. The Transportation Committee met many times throughout the fall and the winter to look at state reports, ridership of students, routing, bus replacements, costs, every possible thing that you can imagine. We, as board members, we visited other school districts. We looked at districts that had privatization of transportation and districts that did not. We looked at districts where it worked well. We looked at districts where it didn't work well. On February 14th, the Transportation Committee reported to the school board with a very comprehensive report, and proposals were accepted at that time for First Student and Peterman bus service. The school board received options from outside bus vendors. We even had a report from the Ohio School Board Association transportation consultant. We, members of the board, have met with various people, various districts, and looked at this. We've had, we've established a special meeting. We've talked to the bus drivers in our district. We value our bus drivers. We've heard from them. In several open meetings. One meeting we had 28 people sign up to speak and to give their input. We realize that this is a difficult decision. It's a very difficult decision for us. It's not, but we want to emphasize that this is not something that's happening lightly. We have agonized over it for months, and we are doing this, and we're looking at you know, the greatest good for the greatest number, with our students being our primary concern. And you know, we still consider our drivers as part of our family. We have looked at, you know, one of the drivers we talked to said, you know, there's people who have been on various points of this continuum, but they said, you know, we trust you. We trust you to make the decision that's right for everybody. And so part of that is, you know, because we do have the bigger picture of what's happening. We have, it is a financial issue to some extent in terms of our, what we have promised our residents and our voters in terms of, you know, ever since 2004, our loss of tangible personal property, we have been trimming away at what Princeton, many of you who have been here for a long time know it to used to be. Should this vote be positive, for the most part, our students and would not recognize much difference in what would be happening as far as transportation. We still plan to pick our kids up, and as you know, Dr. Mack always says, we get our babies to school and safely, and there would be some slight adjustments, but for the most part, our drivers would, the very same drivers we have now would still have the opportunity to work for Princeton. It just would look too much different from what it is now. So we want to, we acknowledge the appreciation that we have for the people that worked on the Transportation Committee. I wanted to give you that background in terms of what we have been looking at for months and months and months. And, you know, since 2004, we've cut $25 million from our budget in various areas. This is just another area that we're looking at in terms of trying to keep our district solvent and to do what is best for our students. I don't know if any other board members have some views that they want to share.
I would say it's very well stated, Melinda. Thank you for stating that. 100% behind what you said. Also, I'd like to recognize the hours of work that the Code Schools, Columbus School District, Xenia, Kings, and Telephone Conversation with Cincinnati Public. I'm not sure if there's others. Fairfield.
Kings.
That they spend hours of their time collaborating with us, sharing experiences, doing site visits, that back and forth. So I just wanted to acknowledge their work and effort, teamwork, and collaboration, and experience with the district.
I do think we looked at every possible combination. Fairfield, for instance, kept it in-house by eliminating high school busing. We didn't feel that was a viable option. They dropped 16 drivers. So we didn't want that to happen either. So we did look at every possible option of what different districts have done.
So, we will have the vote, and then, you know, we know that some people are not gonna be happy, some people are gonna be happy, but at this time, with Ms. Torek, I call for the question.
Mrs. Cleveland. Good evening. I do have a statement to make before I make my decision known. And I wrote it, so I'll read this. I apologize if my head is down. I promised the voters that I would make informed decisions that are balanced and in the best interest of our kids and taxpayers. As we come together tonight to decide on the future of transportation within the district, it is important that I stay true to that promise. After much research, conversations, debates, benchmarking with other districts, and processing of information on the topic of outsourcing transportation, I've come to have more questions than answers, and my peers here can tell you that. Some include, how did we get to this place where we're left with no other options? Did we fail to manage transportation issues as they occurred? How could we have prevented the current situation from occurring in the first place? The ultimate question, however, is whether Princeton has a money problem or a spending problem in regards to transportation. If the problem is spending, then we owe it to our taxpayers to find ways to control it or reduce it. Since it is widely believed that we have similar challenges across the district, if we fail to correctly evaluate where we failed in transportation, the smallest of our departments, we are likely to demonstrate inefficiencies in our schools and further to potentially repeat our mistakes in the future. We must not make a short-term gain become a long-term loss to our taxpayers. Let me be clear, I am not opposed to outsourcing in general. In my opinion, it is of vital importance to look at our internal systems prior to outsourcing to reassure we have reached a cost-effective, safe, and efficient operation. Handing the reins over to the private sector is not always a good bargain for taxpayers. We lose control. In our research, we have found many concerns that should cause us to pause. Our other districts shared with us that they found that the savings promised did not always match the actual savings, and to ensure the tax savings we hope to achieve, they suggest we heavily manage the relationship. I believe we are better equipped to manage an outside vendor relationship when we have better internal controls in place. I recommend we work with our transportation department to evaluate how and where we failed. As a side note, we need to establish better internal processes and procedures to demonstrate to our taxpayers our dedication to managing the resources we are entrusted with before we are forced into asking for funds through a levy, one which in my opinion would fail if we asked for it today. As it stands, we are poised to come back to the voters in 2017 for additional funds, if not before, whether we outsource or not. Our district deserves our transparency as we make this most important decision. And with that, I respectfully vote no to outsourcing transportation.
And yes.
Mrs. Leach? I will also make personally, we had a meeting with the union representative and some bus drivers. And I personally requested that if there were options available, that we as a board were looking for all options so that we could consider everything in front of us. And so I asked for, whether it was route reductions or route improvements or whatever it may be. Certainly there were some ideas, but nothing of significance, and so I will vote yes.
Mrs. White? And just to piggyback on her comment, several people came to me even at the basketball games a couple weeks ago and said, will you still take proposals for us? Will you still listen? I said absolutely. I think Mr. Moore had the same experience. He said absolutely, and yet nothing. So, yes.
Dr. Hawkins?
I vote yes. So the motion has passed for privatization of transportation beginning with the 2014-15 school year. We still have much to work out as far as details, and we will keep you informed and about that process as we go forward. We thank you for your input to this point.
Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Moved and second to adjourn. Mrs. Gordon, please call the roll.